So for the last several years, the RE Source has fought locally and nationally to combat a struggling housing market.
We've worked with several industry advocates from Washington State to good old Washington, D.C. to help provide solutions to loan modifications, short sales, foreclosures, and to provide viable underwater refinance options.
And just now, lately, we have finally felt like our collective efforts have really taken hold.
Foreclosures seem to be slowing down, and short sales seem to be speeding up, and underwater refi options are finally working well.
Now, as you guys know, I was in Maui last week, great vacation, and while I was on vacation with my kids, we would make sandcastles. Now, I'm 35, and I've obviously done this before, so I know at some point an ocean wave is going to come and wash all of our work away. Now, our kids, being young, they haven't really experienced this yet, so Carson and Cammie are working away and they're building a moat and a second and a third story, and wouldn't you know it, a wave comes in and washes all their hard work away, and the beach returned to normal like we had never been there. I wasn't too disappointed. Obviously, I knew it was just a matter of time, but I could tell my kids were heartbroken and they had no idea that their efforts were doomed from the start. They had no idea that a bigger, more powerful force was at work against them. But I gotta tell you guys, I can't help but feel that exact same way right now, and to be honest, you should too.
Why are we feeling that way? Like we said earlier, we've been campaigning for real solutions for the housing market for quite some time now, and as we also said earlier, we're finally starting to see those results. But now, just now, we're finding out that all along, there's been a more powerful, sinister force working against us all along.
In this case, it's not the ocean whisking the sandcastles away. No, it's rather the big banks perpetuating and rewarding homeowners for defaulting on their housing obligations. Yes, you heard me right, banks rewarding their borrowers for not paying their mortgage and selling their home for less than what it's worth.
Now, we've tracked an alarming trend that I'm sure you guys have started to see as well, and it's basically an incentive for selling your home for less than what's owed.
Now, typically homeowners choosing to do the short sale will get about $3,000 from the HOFA program to help them relocate. Now, I'm not so sure that they need that, but sure, great, give them $3,000 to relocate. But lately, we've seen additional monies thrown at the short sellers. How much? How about an additional $25,000? A handsome reward to basically walk away from your home. Starting to get our point?
We've been working with the industry all along, and now we find out the big banks are rewarding, basically enticing homeowners to walk away.
Come on, really? This is like a bad episode of Punk'd. I mean, really, where's Ashton Kutcher? Is that a hidden camera right there?
Don't believe us? Well, here you go.
Here's one of several contracts that we have now seen where the bank clearly states that the seller is to receive an incentive of $25,000.
Oh, and on top of that, $12,900 to pay realtor commissions, $5,000 of the buyer's closing costs, $750 to pump the septic, $1,695 to pay the negotiation fee, and the rest of the customer reseller costs, for a total of $55,792 in bank concessions.
Again, a total of $28,000 to the seller, whom, by the way, backstory here, the homeowner stopped making the payment over a year ago and would have been ecstatic just to get the short sale approved. Heck, the bank already had to write off $200,000 and the homeowner hadn't made a payment in a year. They didn't need an additional $28,000 incentive, they just wanted to sell their home short, which is great. Do so, I don't care, but don't reward and give incentives to homeowners for breaking a contract. Heck, why don't we all just do that? I could use $28,000, could you?
I mean, really? Come on. Now we're rewarding and perpetuating the cycle of homes losing value? Great.
How would you guys like that? Your neighbor sells his house for 60 cents on the dollar, pushing your value down, all the while skipping all of his house payments, and then on top of that, he gets rewarded for it. How would you like that? For some reason, this administration and the powers that be right now have it in their head that everyone's a victim and everyone deserves a handout, and quite frankly, I'm over it. This is freaking ridiculous. It's out of hand and it's gotta stop. It's so backwards, it's not even funny.
We are working to shore up the flood, and the banks and administrators are on the other side working to pour water in. It's asinine. It hurts home values, it hurts the entire industry, and it sets an incredibly poor example for underwater homeowners on how to handle their situation. In fact, it rewards homeowners for walking away.
I don't know how many times we have to say this. Actions have consequences, or at least there should be, and I'm not so sure about that anymore because it seems like you can not have a job, not make your house payment, walk away from your home, and the government and the banks are still going to figure out a way to get you a paycheck. I can't even tell you how mad this makes me and how mad this should make you. It's actions like this that seal the fate of our future. And when the money and the music stops and we have nowhere to sit, we have nobody to blame but ourselves.
We simply cannot reward and incentivize this behavior. Folks all fall on hard times and need to sell their homes. Sure, we get it. But this is a whole nother level.
We simply cannot do this and expect a healthy market in return. See you guys next week.
Where you been all my life?